on this particular episode, we're going to be watching a video that is posted by Zigo on Facebook. And so you can go check it out over there. He posted it on the 18th of January, so like 2 days back. What this man says, yeah, it tells you that these titles of apostle and prophet has been overused. It's the reality show with the Daily Christian commentary videos. Sir, you have something to say.
God is a dictator. Mwara. Kwa mwara kushande kuti wangochifunge. Hodibvunza zva Hitler mfana uyu. Hitler ana kana 1% ka yechaakanyatsoita chinoitwa naMwari cheche.
So there he's saying he's speaking short. I can only catch here and there. I'm guessing he's saying that Hitler can't even do 1% of what God. To compare Hitler and God, it's one thing. We're going to come back to that point. Let's hear the rest of his point.
Mwari vakatongera kuti forever vanenge vari mugomba remoto forever. Ndimaive umwe munhu keyo.
I wonder what that means. You can tell us down in the comment section to say what mugomba remoto or something like that.
Ndibaba umwe munhu. Muningi na umwe munhu anenge achitsva. Mwari vakati moto hauperi. Baba fungai baba kuti vanhu vachirwa nehutsi, vachirwa nehiti, vasingafi continually. Nhasi mozoti Mwari tarisai zviri muZimbabwe kuti tendai vatungamiriri venyu vachiri vakatonakisisisa ifa tisangane kuseri kwegungwa. Ndobva uchazodai manidzorera kuZANU-PF. Amunanga gwangu wakanaka. Uko it's a point of no return.
I don't know if he's trying to imply like human suffering to be compared to things. So for those that can hear him, they can tell us down in the comment section. I'm just going to comment mainly on the point of God being compared to Hitler. That's the part I heard. Okay? And so the reason why I'm going to talk about that is that that's the only part I heard. Now, for also those people that just want to defend everything, calm down. I stated what am I going to talk about. Some people can't hear properly. So the problem with what he's presenting, with the idea of comparing God with Hitler, is that he doesn't see what Jesus means when he says, if I judge you. When Jesus was talking to the Pharisees, they say, you are this. And he says, if I judge you, I judge in righteousness. So when God says something, he does so in righteousness. Hitler does so in hatred. And him being an apostle, he's an apostle. Him being an apostle and not knowing the difference. Remember, the place of an apostle is one set forward doctrine. Now, for many of us, we are from denominations that don't believe in modern day apostles and whatnots and stuff like that. But hey, not a debate. But an apostle is one who is clear on doctrine. If he's an apostle, he should be clear on doctrine. You can't. There is no way you can ever make a comparison between Hitler and God. You can't. It's ridiculous. It's like, how do the two even relate? Why? God makes a judgment in righteousness. God is creator. He authored. He states what. So the part of him saying God is a dictator, what. We're not debating that part. No, God decides. I don't think of him as a dictator. I think of him as creator. I think of him as judge. This comparison of dictator, that's human perception. And the idea of it is one who doesn't want to leave power or whatnot. No, God is all in power. You can't even use that language to God. Yeah, I can't. I can't. If you can, it's okay. Yes, I'm not going to argue you down. If you can use the term dictator to God, congratulations. Me, I cannot mature to that level. I don't know what it takes for you to get there, to a place where you can say God is a dictator. Yeah, and I'm not interested in learning your tricks. Yeah, you can keep your tricks to yourself, Chief. Yes, let's be very clear. God is all powerful. That's how we think of him. Now, if you think dictator, that's you. You can say that. It's fine. It's fine. You can think like that. I wouldn't restrict you. But understand something. God being all powerful means he knows right before I know why the right has a benefit, what benefit the right has ahead. So when he restricted Adam and Eve from eating the fruit, is that he saw 7,000 years worth of men suffering. Adam and Eve were thinking for themselves. So is that a dictator? No, a dictator thinks for himself. God was thinking for us. So that's why I say you can't use such human words as dictator towards God. He is all powerful, meaning he is all knowing. He is judge, rightfully so. He is king, creator, everlasting. If it offends you, let it offend you. Yes, but to use human thinking of comparing Hitler's hatred to God, the man doesn't understand God. Now it takes a long time sometimes for us to really get why does God say something and why is it right, even if you disagree with it. Why is this right? It can take a while for a person to come to that conclusion or to that thinking. It can take a while, but it's because he is all-knowing. Hitler hated. So Hitler's decisions were hatred. So to say that, he's not even 1% of God. He is saying God hated. And so he rules over us without our benefit in thought. The same God that the Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. He gave all it took to bring us to relationship with him. He acted in our benefit even when we went contrary. So that's why I say the title or this bringing dictator to God or making God dictator. You have to rethink your understanding of God. You have to rethink how you, because it's assassinating God's character. You are attacking God's character. Hitler made the decisions he did because he hated the Jews, because he hated anyone that was. He wanted his race to be superior, and as a result, he was going to demonize those that were not part of that. And as Hitler did that, he acted in his selfishness. He acted in hatred. For God so loved the world that he gave all it took. Is that a dictator? No, it's one who acts in your benefit. No wonder their theology is twisted. No wonder the idea of God is twisted. Why? Because in the thing which they should understand, in the thing where they should be well-founded, they have no foundation. They have no roots. God acts in all of men's benefit. I couldn't have said it better. It's blasphemous to speak of things like dictator towards God. It's blasphemy. You think childish thinking. baby charlatan thinking. There's no Bible in your thinking. You are empty. You are void. Hakuna nix. Now, understand something. I'm not saying that he's he hasn't understood the Bible yet. You understand what I mean? Yes. It's something that learned over time. You learn why God's decisions are final, why God's decision should be final. If God said, my testimony, God said, you are doing this, I decide I'm going to do that. It all fails. He is all knowing. He knows, I think if I chase this, it's going to make me happier. He says, no, you'll be happier doing this. Is that a dictator? He's not a dictator. He's all knowing. He says that you are using human thinking to understand an all knowing being, all powerful, all capable, mighty. That type of mighty. Abba. It takes a lot to understand. And sometimes people can get, maybe we'll say it's an error. Ne? Yeah, we'll just say it's an error. He probably made a mistake. It's just a small little error here and there. It needs touch up. You understand? Yeah, we'll just take it as an error. But you can't think of God as in comparison to Hitler. And say, Hitler was acting 1%. Hitler was acting in self. God acts in righteousness. Not in self, in righteousness. When the Bible says God is holy, it means that holiness is projected even in how you see his reaction. When you see judgment, you are seeing the righteous aspect of correction coming to full view. That's why I say it's very low thinking to think God's way of rulership is dictatorship. It means a person doesn't understand the Bible. But this particular subject, it's a subject we grow in, you know? We can be children of the same father, but understand him differently. You know? God acts in. You see all the attributes that we put. God, Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Nisi, Jehovah, the God acts in all these things, and in every single one of his action, all these things are portrayed. All his person is shown. When he stops you from doing something, that's God rebuking, correcting, and plan for a brighter future. The rebuke, if you are focused on the rebuke, you see it carnally as a dictator. But that's a subject of maturity. Once you mature out of that, you understand the correction is in right. He acts in righteousness, not in selfishness. Hitler acted in selfishness. Now, let me not drag this video forever. It's just something to ponder upon, something to think about, you know, because sometimes this type of errors, they come, it feels right. When someone is saying it feels right. It feels like, you know, God said they mustn't eat. That's a dictate. So don't eat. It sounds right, ne? But what it ignores is in how he presents thinking. How is he coming as judge, as even it's in judge, when he gives them hell? The Bible says he will pour out. He poured out wrath. It poured out wrath. He's patient to wait for man for all these years to act out their hatred towards him. Doesn't do until the day comes. He doesn't act in self. He acts in righteousness. Hitler acted in hatred. I could talk about that the whole day. It's Ricky. I'll see y'all guys on the later on episode. Other episodes don't be done in the pin comments, and y'all tell me what your thoughts are. So yeah, we'll take it as an error. We'll say it's an error. Yeah, it's just stop trying to stretch the Bible. Stick to what it says. He is all righteous. When the Pharisees came to Jesus and they say his judgment is wrong, he says, no, my judgment is righteous. Yeah, it takes a while for you to understand why is the statement put like that. He says, my judgment is righteous. Tsiriki, y'all have a good one.